जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
चेन्नई बेलूर तिरुचिरापल्ली Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो.
Mumbai, the city of dreams where magic happens. Rohit and his company will sure be looking for this magic. Standing in front of them is someone who is their very own, the ex-wonder boy of Mumbai Indians, Hardik Pandya. Hardik and his team just can't do any wrong by the looks of it. Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher. I have two youngsters with me who wrapped their show early yesterday, went out partying, and they are looking fresh and ready to go. Please welcome Bhattacharjya and Pommie Mbangwa. Welcome. Looks like you all party till 4 in the morning, but totally ready to go.
4 o'clock is when we made other plans. We called our friends and said, oh, what are you doing this evening? Because we are those kind of people. We are party kind of people. I just partied so hard with my Netflix and my pillow and my little this thing of Bonvita, glass of Bonvita.
The Bonvita was yum.
Yeah, it was. I party hard.
I do remember that you used to go, where are we going next? Where are we going next, right? Yeah, where are we going next? That's how it went. Not anymore.
Okay.
Sadly, not anymore.
Well, happily for Gujarat, they're sitting pretty at the points table because they're there at 16 and of course Mumbai at 12 there. So Gujarat want this win to get that queue next to them. Mumbai want this win because they want to go a little closer to that playoff number.
Absolutely. And if you look at it, the best part of it, if you look at the table, is who's supporting Gujarat today? Well, I'll tell you. Rajasthan is, Lucknow is, Bangalore is, Kolkata no longer matters, Punjab is. All four teams are supporting Gujarat because what they really need is for Mumbai not to win another match. And I think everyone will be desperate. All the teams on 10 and Rajasthan also on 12 will be looking to make sure that they will be hoping that Gujarat wins. Because see, Gujarat now will qualify.
Yeah.
Now whether they qualify first, second or third, fourth is immaterial to the other teams. At this point in time, what they need is Mumbai to be stopped. And therefore, this is that time of the year when you suddenly your loyalties change. So if you're a Rajasthan or a Punjab supporter, you're supporting Gujarat today.
No, but just to understand, because this is that time of the year where I get totally confused. If you can look at the points table again, just to get this tuition again. Right. So in case Mumbai lose today, it means that the rest of the four teams have a chance to lose one of their games. Is that correct?
No, not like, you've got to look at both ends of the table.
Okay.
So when I say both ends, you've got to look at the matches side and the points side, right? So essentially what we're saying and what we say often is that you want to get to 16. That's season after season. And say if you get to 16, then you're in with a really big shout. So if Mumbai, who have 3 games to go, win today, they have 2 more games to try and get to 16 because they go to 14 if they win today after playing 12, right?
Yes.
But if they lose today, then they can't. They sort of go, 12 games, 12 points. 2 more games can go 14, 16, but probably play one of the other teams.
But
and
it's not a do or die for Mumbai.
No, it's not a do or die. It's not a do or die for Mumbai.
No.
If Mumbai loses again, they still have that opportunity to get to 16.
Correct.
But after that, there'll be a lot of matches crossing. So what happens is somebody else, look at who Mumbai is playing. They'll be playing Lucknow. So Lucknow and Hyderabad, say Hyderabad still has a chance because they're 4 and 6. So they could win all 4 and make it. Hyderabad is actually the team that's playing the last. So if they win 4 on the trot with a really good run rate, they could make it from there. But Lucknow actually does not have that much of an issue because Lucknow is in that odd. So they just probably don't want them to get to 16 because if Lucknow feels that there's a chance of qualifying on 15 as well. So if you can qualify on 15, that makes a difference. So Lucknow will also want definitely for Mumbai to lose. And that's the point. Getting to 16. 16 is safety. 15 is probably close. And because the table is tight, okay, you're going to get qualifications you may get qualifications at 15. See, the one thing that people don't understand, they look at is to say 14 used to qualify.
Yeah.
But 14 would qualify when there were 8 teams.
Correct.
Now there are 10 teams. So your chances of qualifying before were always 50%. Now they become 40%. So that 7 is no longer there. 8 is almost sure. And even on 15, because it's a closed table, you could sneak through.
You know, if Joy Bhattacharya was my maths tuition teacher, I would have definitely topped the class and I wouldn't have been in the bottom because he's made things much clearer now after that.
There was the phrase yesterday, what was it?
Which one?
Didn't study. I've forgotten it already. When people pass without studying, they say, you said it to me yesterday.
Padhai nahi ki.
Yeah, there you go. You could say that after his lesson.
I will say that, and I think Pommie is studying so much because next season he wants to do Cricbuzz Hindi. I think he doesn't like a company.
It's already a deal. Bihar is already speaking to him as we speak. Sir, वो दो और phrase सीख जाओ, आ जाओ नीचे.
नहीं.
All right, we've got news from the centre is that Gujarat have won the toss and they've decided to bowl first. No surprise there because, well, everyone would want to chase in Mumbai.
Everyone, and just looking at the pitch, they say this is the red pitch, and the people who are on the ground say that any total is chaseable here. I think that's what they're looking at, and they're saying that okay, Mumbai, how much can you put up on the board? But this is going to be an interesting one because Mumbai knows their bowling is not the greatest. So they'll probably look at it and say that perhaps 200 is also not enough. So I'll be very interested in knowing now how Mumbai bats. Do they go and say that, look, we'll try and get to 200, if we get a bit more fine, we'll try and get to 200 and see what it goes. Or we said, we try and get to 240 and see that we seal this match out.
Yeah.
Because our bowling is not great.
Yeah, there is jeopardy when you don't know what you're chasing. Right? So loss of your wicket affects your team. But when you know what the target is, things get clearer. And even though Mumbai Indians have been so good to watch with a target in mind, with a full understanding of what they're chasing and how many they need in an over, it kind of made it so that, there was a certain amount of risk to take and no more. But now with a case of, how many? What was the question asked? How many would you set here at Mumbai or at the Wankhede for the Mumbai Indians? Oh, don't know. They probably can chase anything, right? To chase whatever it is in 12, 13, 14 overs and bat like they could get 250, 260. Now, the assessment of conditions and the decision on exactly how many are enough is particularly important. And it puts them under that little bit more pressure.
Yeah. Well, we've got an update that both teams have gone unchanged. We will discuss the teams a little more, but I want to do and get to a tradition that we've been following for some time this season, is that we've been celebrating, men who've been players, who've been inspirational, who've taught us a whole lot of lessons, and we call these our men of platinum. These men of platinum have taught us values such as hard work, resilience, determination, self-belief, and much more. Today's man of platinum is someone who embodies resilience because he's gone through so many ups and downs, but he's always come out stronger. And I'm talking about Suryakumar Yadav. His character sure is as rare as platinum. Joy, Suryakumar Yadav is somebody who broke into the international circuit only at 30. And he was doing so well domestically. And, everyone used to keep asking him, when are you going to play for India? It used to frustrate him. He used to go back to his room and listen to Apna Time Aayega. And well, apna time, uska time aaya hai because he is the world #1 T20 batter now.
No, I mean, he's truly a man of platinum. I was thinking about him because, I've spent one season entirely with Suryakumar Yadav and we had a lot to speak about because it was interesting. He had come out from Mumbai, he'd been bought, come to another team and he was steeped in the Mumbai culture because, all his life he'd played with Mumbai or the Mumbai Indians. He made his debut in 2010, okay? And he got a 40. And in those days, he was some of the highest scorers for Mumbai in the 2011 and 12 season. He was India under 25 captain. In India, under 25 captain is looked on as sort of, okay, that's a step to coming to the India team. And then it doesn't happen. And then his form deserts him. And then it doesn't happen. And then it just went on. Then he had a good season with KKR, but he was a finisher. And as a finisher, catching the eye at number 6 is very difficult. But why he's a man of platinum is even at that position, he comes back, KK becomes Mumbai captain, doesn't work out for him. And then you think that, okay, this career has now gone awry. 6 years he's been there. We've been waiting for 5 years to make it. And then he sort of focuses again, goes back to Mumbai and starts batting. And then he did what the only thing batsmen can do, pile up mountains of runs. Runs, 400, 500 in the IPL, huge domestic runs, till they couldn't finally ignore him. And It's been an amazing journey and I'm so proud of him. And I know him personally and I'm so proud of him.
You know, Pommie, when we started the IPL, there was I remember being on this chair and there was so much discussion and all those stats being put out saying Surya and the Golden Duck, Surya, is he getting out of groove, and all those things that happened at the beginning of the IPL. I think it was 5 innings, he's just scored, there we see it, 5 innings, just 66 runs. But in the last 6 innings, he's come back with 310 runs. So talk about resilience.
Yeah, resilience, perseverance, and truly, as we're talking about, a man of platinum, and all the things that have happened in times past would have stood him in good stead for dealing with this. Another player in the same situation in a season might well fade away, but so good is he that he is able to just understand in his own mind, I guess, that this is just a phase. Just because he doesn't score runs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, whatever it is, games, doesn't mean he never will. Doesn't mean he no longer is as good. Doesn't mean he no longer is the best in the world, because that's what he is. The best bar none. And I say that not lightly, because it's not as if he impacts the game from the top where you get an opportunity right up at the front and you have a goal and you either hit or you miss. No, the game kind of starts out, goes along, and you join a moving bus and you've got to make it move faster. And he does that just about every time, whether he's playing for Mumbai Indians or he's playing for India itself. So, yeah, as you say, truly a man of platinum and one we love to watch every single time. And we'll be looking forward to watching him today.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to watching him today because sky is not the limit for him. We'll have a look at the teams now. Let's have a look at Mumbai's team first. Like I said, they've gone unchanged. So I don't know what Tilak Verma I thought was fit, but clearly he's not entirely fit.
See, Mumbai, Tilak Verma would be in the batting 11.
Yes.
So certainly he's there. Or they've decided that Nehal Vadera is a better option for them at this point in time, because if you see that batting is pretty set. But they could have easily kept Tilak Verma in and bought in a Jason Behendorf as an option, as a bowling option when they go into bowl. So I have a feeling Tilak is not totally fit then.
Yeah, it's either he's not totally fit or they didn't listen to Cricbuzz live yesterday. It's one of the two.
Or, look, we'll find out whether his name is there on the list.
Subs list. Yeah.
If it's there on the subs list, it might just happen that if they're 3 down or 4 down quickly, they'll substitute one of the earlier batsmen out. Say a Suryakumar or
Okay,
Ranish.
so he's not in the sub list, so clearly it is his Nikhil.
Then he's still not well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also, I mean, through this season, I've been saying it over and over, you don't want to take, good form for granted. Anyone's in good form, you want to make sure that they're playing. It's even more critical at this time of the season, where you have players in decent form, you make sure you get them on the park and have them play to give yourself the best chance of going into, well, 1, getting into the playoffs, and 2, if you get into those playoffs, doing well in those playoffs and then on to the final and so forth. Because you don't want people to be trying to start again and so forth when they're trying to come back into the side. Not to say that Tilak Verma isn't. I'm saying he is in good form.
Yeah.
And you want him
You just
to
want
be
him to
playing.
continue.
Yeah, you want him to be playing.
Well, there are a lot of people in a lot of good form in the Gujarat team because everyone keeps putting their hand up and doing something. But again, this is their bowling 11. So we will see that extra batter coming in when they come into bat. And of course, Shubman Gill is that usual fellow sits out and comes back in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Noor Ahmed will sit out. He'll walk in there and open the boom. This is a very set side, and what's happened is Alzari Joseph is being brought back to where he had his first great performance. This is a really good team because match winners all the way down, they have that ability, and this bowling is also absolutely brilliant. Interesting that they're still, going with a Noor Ahmed and all, because, Rashid Khan you'll play in any pitch in the world.
Yeah.
But when you're taking a Noor Ahmed, you're saying that in conditions like this, where Wankhede is not really a great place to bowl spin, small boundaries, you get a top edge also, you can fly out of the crowd. So it's a brave decision, but that's what Gujarat has been doing this year. Who would have said that you'd play with, and what are the odds 5 years back if somebody have said that, there's going to be a team who's going to win the IPL and the year after that they're going to be leading with 2 Afghan spinners. I mean, what are the odds?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you said that's how Gujarat's been leading their side. And I give a lot of credit to Hardik because I think Hardik Pandya is somebody who likes it this way. He likes to go the Chennai way where he backs his players. he's coming back to his home ground because he's coming back to play at Wankhede, but he's obviously in the opposite team. Mumbai not going to be too happy to see him playing for Gujarat. But just Hardik, the captain, has been so impressive. He's been mature, he's been calm. He takes responsibility on. If they lose, they say, the other day in the press conference, he said it was my doing, we lost because of me. So he's that person who takes responsibility.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey. I think a journey of self-discovery for him and for fans all alike. Kind of wait and see approach because uncharted territory. What's he going to be like as a captain? Didn't know. And last season, it went well. And what I find so refreshing is how candid he is with just about everything. So asked about the captaincy side of things, he'll say, hey, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out myself. Or I didn't really know what was going on over there, and I'm quite happy to ask whoever. And when I need this, I lean on Ashish, I lean on Gary, on Vikram, or whoever. You know, absolutely no hang-ups. He's been that type of guy, that type of player, whether he was playing for Mumbai or playing for India. He's just heart on sleeve, and what you see is kind of what you get. And so I think it's made it easier for everybody within the camp, because generally what happens with teams is they take on the character of their captain. If you look at the various teams around and you look at who their captains are and the way they are, it kind of is mirrored in the way the teams go. So this team is a team that has players who might be somewhat understated, but are particularly important and are match winners in their own right. You look through the whole team and that's what you get. On the subject of homecoming, it's not just him. Yes, big player, huge player in that middle order, Krunal, Hardik, and KP Pollard, right? So they were magnificent for Mumbai, winning all the time, just about. And then a young Alzari Joseph, who in recent times has been in fine form, bowling particularly fast. So they'll be happy to have him in the side today. And he too will be saying, hey, I've got a point to prove, and
I'm homecoming
here I
as
am.
well.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be fascinating to watch.
But Joy, you know, Hardik's doing pretty much everything, coming in at opening bowling, which has been, for me, the most exciting thing, because he's taken responsibility to come along with Shami and open the bowling.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, that he shapes the ball. The other thing is that he's not, you know, if he's fit, he's saying that I'm going to take 4 overs or at least 2 overs. I'm going to bowl up front, especially when the ball is swing. And he's nice paces. He's not, you know, trying to shoulder his back and trying to save his back. He's giving you the 140s. He's bending his back. He's giving it. That means he's comfortable in the kind of physical frame he is now, which is very good news for both India and for Gujarat, of course. But I want to go back to one more thing, which is who owns the Gujarat Titans? The Gujarat Titans is owned by CVC Capital. CVC Capital is a huge, huge fund which resides worldwide. They own, in fact, I know them very well because they also own 33% of FIVB's partnership with the volleyball world, called Volleyball World. They own other assets in sports like F1, lots of other places. Now, what's the thing? They come out here and they hire a professional CEO. Who's that professional CEO? Their professional CEO is Arvinder, who's been in Punjab for a very long time. Great guy. He was a man who's he was a Sword of Honor cadet from the National Defense Academy. He was a commander of tanks. He was one of the top, colonels in the Armored Corps. He used to run an Armored Corps regiment. And that's the guy that they've got now. And what that happens is he's smart enough. He's been in Punjab, which is a team which is known for ownership who comes on. He's smart enough to let these guys say, do your thing. So what the great thing you have is, it's not just about Hardik. It's not just about Ashish and the team, who are a fantastic team. It's also about a CEO seeing that nobody interferes
just letting them
with the game. You go do your thing in the field. The rest of it is my problem to handle the rest of it. And both CVC and Arvinder make sure that what's left for Ashish and all to do is only cricket. There's nothing else to do.
That's how it should be. That's why he
That's how it should be. But how often is it? Look around the other teams, put hand on heart and say which one of these are not interfering.
Yeah, I tell you. And you cannot, some of these are what we'd call intangibles, where you don't know what price to put on good vibes and a good environment.
Absolutely.
You know?
Actually, Hardik spoke about it because he said that there are two ways to build a team. One is the MI way where you say we get star players, or second is the Chennai way where you make a conducive atmosphere, and he prefers the latter. So clearly, it's the management, it's Hardik, everyone prefers the latter.
So Chennai is the other team who does this very well. Chennai is the other team who does this very well from management and just leaves the players and coaches and Stephen Dhoni to do what it is. But most of the others, even when they're people don't understand one thing, and you know that even when you're helping, you're interfering.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Even when you're helping, you're interfering. You say, "Oh no, you know what? You know, my friend of mine called up, and you're trying to help, and you know, don't take it otherwise. Of course, it's your call." But by turning around and saying that my friend has said this and this thing, I'm putting pressure on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also when you don't know that you don't know.
So many you don't know.
Yeah, and I say it purposely because your friend calling up to say so-and-so should try X or Y or Z, to him sounds logical, to you might sound logical, but there's a particular reason why it's actually quite silly. Nobody's going to tell you it's silly because they can't, right? So when you call up and you say, why don't you try this and that and the other, right? I say, oh, okay, yeah, oh, we will, you know, or, oh, let's see, whatever I say. But I'm not going to say, can't do that. Of course you thought about that. You can't do that. That won't work because it's you calling, right? And because it's you calling, I then must go along and say, hey, Saiyami called. She said we need to do X and Y and Z. How do we tell her that's like a silly
Exactly.
idea? We don't know how to tell her.
That's what happens.
Right?
And that's what happens.
And we can't now go and say not do it.
Correct.
Because she's going to say, hey, I called you, I told you, you said you'd do it, you didn't do it. So
Why?
What happens?
You're going to fix them.
You know what I'm saying?
Or what will happen is, carry the situation further. You're going to say, you know what, this is not really going to work. But suppose we don't try it and we lose another match, then the guy would say,
I told
you know,
you so.
Yeah, maybe you should have tried. Even if he's that way, it still makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, all these top level calls that happen, I wouldn't know because I'm just a cricket fan who doesn't know there's Bhattacharjya who sits in the dugout and does these top level calls. But there are a lot of friends who keep calling me at my fan friends and keep calling and say, when is Rohit going to perform? And I really, really wish I had an answer to that. And there are a lot of questions asked on Rohit's form. There's somebody who's asked us on Cricbuzz Live as well. Rohit Sharma has scored just 367 runs in his last 21 T20 innings at an average of 17 and a strike rate of 115 with just 250s. Is it just a format problem for Rohit in T20, or should we as fans be concerned of his form ahead of the WTC final? Pant Kohli Bhogle.
It's a great handle.
Austin Dikuna, whose name says Pant Kohli and Bhogle.
He's also one of the guys who got a Joy Factor question, I remember.
It's a great handle. Yes. I love it.
Yeah, but he's asking a very, very valid question, which I think Pommie...
Yeah, look, it's... First thing to say is, it's not just you who's worried. I think Rohit will be worried as well. Every innings that goes by where he doesn't get a score is not ideal. It doesn't mean he no longer is a good player. That's not going to be the determinant of whether he will or he won't get runs per se in the World Test Championship. Different formats, different mindset, different... It's a form thing, yes, but I think we can localize it. We can localize it to the tournament and kind of see whether he will manage in the games to come to somehow get out of form, get out of the rut, so to speak.
Joy, you know, this is something which I'm saying it with a very heavy heart, but I have to say it because these are the numbers. His numbers have been really, well, we can see them here. Since 2019, he's not really, well, fired at all.
So I just want to say, I mean, if you look at Test Championship, that's a different call. I think he scored a century against Australia in the last Test match. So let's leave that form aside. Let's not assign Test match form to what it is. He'll go to England. He'll have a little bit of time. It's going to be a tough challenge anyway, but that's a different challenge. But this is something that will genuinely concern him because he's really, I mean, he runs a huge team. It's a team which is very successful, but it was an overwhelmingly strong team for a long time. Last couple of years, it has needed more from him because it's not had that brute firepower that it had before. And this year it needs him even more because the problem is that you don't even have a Bumrah. Bumrah was their go-to person.
Yeah.
You know, for 5 years they didn't bother. Bumrah and Malinga, Malinga, Bolt. I mean, it's a combination from hell for any batsman. Now you don't have that. So they really need more of him. And I think he's also right now, because his team is not doing well, that's also affecting his personal form as well, because there's a lot on his head. And Mumbai is not an easy franchise to captain. It's not an easy franchise.
Yeah, so I think also what's critical is the fact that if you say you shift him aside,
Then who?
who has the shoulders to carry and lead the side? At present, I think he's absolutely necessary as the leader of the group, which is a young and new group that's trying to find its way. And yes, there have been some games that have gone, well, and they've won, but by and large, as a group, you look and you think, oh, what's his role? What's his importance? And I think his importance is leadership. And many will go, oh yeah, but Sky can be captain, right? How much does that take away from what he needs to do in terms of contributing with bat? Do you want to mess with that? Can you handle it and sort of hang with Rohit right now whilst it's going like this? And can he handle, like Joy is saying, the fact that he's not necessarily going well, but needs to lead the team? And I think he's able to separate the two because he's that experienced that he's the one who can kind of handle that. As time goes by, time waits for no one, as we know. And this is a discussion that might well be had as we go along. But right now, personally, I think it's okay. He bats where he bats, and hopefully he hits himself out of the rut and the side can continue on. That's kind of best case scenario, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Austin, I hope you've got your answer there, because we all want Rohit Sharma to fire. Not only Mumbai Indians fans, but I just feel as India fans, we want Rohit Sharma to fire. Somebody who has fired and who surprised everyone, though, is Mohit Sharma. He's been extremely impressive in his second innings, if I can say, because I think he had a purple cap back in 2014, and after that, this is his best outing in the IPL.
Yeah, 14. Then he goes to the World Cup in 2015. He's one of our best bowlers in the World Cup. He bowls really well. He and Shami bowled really well. And then that's the problem with fast bowlers. One of the problems is injuries, and Pommie will tell you much more about this, that injuries with fast bowlers is actually more debilitating because injuries lead to loss of rhythm. Once you lose rhythm as a bowler, and he just completely lost it. And he was in a situation where last year he was a net bowler for them.
Yeah.
And from there, being a net bowler, and I have actually seen this happen in front of my eyes, where a bowler who's bowled a last over in the IPL is a net bowler 5 years later. It happens all the time, and you look at these things and you wonder. But to come back from there and to make it where he is, and I think in the first 3 matches he got 2 Man of the Match awards.
Yeah, and he got 4 wickets in the last game as well. You've spoken about injuries, but he also was talking about how he's learned a lot from Nehra this season. He's spoken about how Nehra has told him to kind of bowl a little shorter, which he said has been effective for him. He's also spoken about practicing the knuckleball, but unfortunately he got that injury, so he can't execute the knuckleball. So just nice to see him constantly wanting to learn.
Do we remember how good Ashish was?
Of course, that 6 wickets against England is
6 for 23.
6 for 23.
And do we remember and know how involved he is, how passionate he is?
It almost feels like he's going to jump into the ground and he's at the boundary line waiting to jump in.
He lives it. Ashish absolutely lives, and always has done. Yeah, from time way back, always has done. I believe that he is the one who said to Mohit when Mohit didn't get picked and probably would have looked to go off and do something else, would have looked to be, look, my time has come, I'm done, off I go, said to him, stay close to cricket, right? And the way to stay close was to be a net bowler, was to bowl for who would have him, and look where it's taken him, and to bide his time. Just keep going, and should the opportunity arise, be ready. He's been more than ready. And this, you were talking about injuries a little earlier. What happens many a time with injuries is that they mess with your head. More than anything else, they mess with your head. So you come back and your question to self is, am I still strong enough? Can my body withstand? And you've got to try and test that, but you've got to be willing to test that, because in your head, it's broken before, so it can break again, right? And what you've got to get to is, it was strong enough before, so it can be strong again. So that and that's a process that kind of has to take place, and you've got to get yourself over that. And he got that in the time that he wasn't selected, and he could work on many a different thing and turn up and come back. And now it's called bonus time, isn't it? Because you were gone. So now you're back,
But
play.
when in his bonus time, he's doing something new, because he used to bowl, in the first 6 overs. He was a new ball bowler, but if we see this season, he's picked up 8 wickets in the death. So clearly he's doing news. Out of 12, 8 of them are in the death.
Absolutely. He used to have that great behind the
Hiding
slow ball.
Yeah.
That slow ball, I think, and again, that slow ball, the length has changed again. You're absolutely right. The length of that slow ball, he's pulled it back a bit, so they're not getting it there as they used to. So it's just that little bit more effective. But it's a great story. I mean, that's what this tournament is about great stories like, what happens and
reinvention.
Reinvention.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great story, and we're going to have a great quiz question for you now, because it's the joy factor question of the day. All yours.
Okay, in his debut test match, this cricketer got a century. In his ODI debut, he scored 20, and his T20I debut, he got a first ball duck. Who? There aren't that many.
Well, the question is at least simple to understand. For once, I've at least understood the question. For the first time, I've understood the question. So that's one step up.
Yeah. Well done.
I don't know the answer. I at least understood the question. We will think over this.
I think you're closer than you think. I will not.
All
say.
right. Yeah, we'll think over it.
So time is, as in when the person plays, is quite simple, because it cuts everything out. There's a 2020 game, right? So you can cut some time out, as in you can go beyond as soon as you get to a certain cut-off point.
So you know the answer, Pommie?
Not yet.
Oh, I thought he was saying this with authority.
No, but he's breaking it up. That's how it's
I'm trying to answer it in my head. So
all right. So we will do it in the green room, and we will get these answers. But I'm sure we've already got, people have broken it up, and we've already got a whole lot of answers. But we need to quickly do something that we were miserable at yesterday. So we should just forget what happened yesterday.
217.
Okay, 217 for Pommie. But yeah, it's Mumbai, it's Wankhede. So
202.
Oh, I'm stuck. 202, 217. I will go with 207, because we have to cover. Well, it's going to be a 200 plus score.
But what do you think? You think it'll be 200 plus?
I think it's going to be a 200 plus score for sure.
My fear is if they go hard, they could also go out, get out fast.
That could happen. They could be like 160 all out or something. But
no, I'm not. I don't know if these are the Michael tricks that he's trying to use on me.
No,
I'm not going to fall for them.
I'm just saying. And the reason I asked is that what you think is? I say 217. He says 202. You might be thinking something entirely different. So if you think entirely different, then
no, I think it's going to be about 200. I'll stick to my 207.
Okay.
We'll wait and watch, because today was a historic day. This day that year when Mumbai won their match against Chennai, and we won, and not we, Mumbai picked up the trophy.
That Malinga slow ball. Did he get Shardul out? I think Shardul got out. Malinga bowled the ball.
Shardul.
Yes, Shardul was batting at the other end, I think.
Well, it was that historic day. We will wait and see if it's going to be another historic day for Mumbai. They would like to win, because they've picked up the trophy on this day. They don't mind picking up another game today. We'll wait and watch. That's all for now. But you all shouldn't forget to join us at the 10 over point at the Cricbuzz com box. We'll see you there.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
चेन्नई Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दो।